Welcome to Ceelos Musical Chronicles. This is another episode, so lay back and enjoy. So my boy Ka, here I am. Like I was just saying, we're gonna start this whole series again. So I want to bring a lot of artists to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that's going to be listening later, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and also to Latin Pain's channel. We're gonna talk about them in a few minutes. But yeah, here it is. The subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Ceelos Congas. If for those who are listening on my Facebook, just give me a second. Let me set that up here. So that way, if anybody got any questions, by all means, put it in the chat. But we're gonna freestyle a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I want to introduce to you this artist. Now, I met this artist online, but let me tell you something, man. I resonate a lot with this artist because he brings that whole element, and you'll see that. Oh, give me 1 second. He brings that whole Boricua, African Boricua, or Black Boricua element into the picture. You know what I'm saying? And we have had some discussions, you know what I'm saying, about, the fate of hip hop, what's happening now in the state of hip hop. But anyway, without any, let me bring him on, Let me bring my brother on, and let me bring you right now, this brother, Latin Pain. What is it? Real life, real spit with Latin Pain. Peace. Bye.
Yes.
Sounding good. Sounding good.
Whereby, that's what's up.
Yeah, for the channel. Now, a lot of people right now, and I'm just gonna say here that it's early. So I was gonna pre-record this, but instead I decided let's do this live.
Let's go.
And so let's do this. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, introduce yourself. What name you go under, and
well, my name is Antonio Bicicleta. They call me Antonio Bicicleta, aka Latin Pain, from the Bronx, New York. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Antonio Bicicleta, beautiful.
Yes,
but where do you get this Latin Pain from?
I got the name Latin Pain from a Muslim brother in Comstock Correctional Facility.
Oh, okay.
He gave me the name Latin Pain.
Nice. It reminds me a lot of Carlito's way when he says, "Here comes the pain."
Here comes the pain.
Man, I wish I could have caught that clip and put it up. Here comes the pain. You ready?
Actually, people say that back home. Some people say that when they see me coming down the block. Yo, here comes the pain.
Here comes the pain. I love that movie and that shit. So listen, so where were you born?
I was born August 3rd of 1979 in North Central Hospital in the Bronx.
North Central. That's up there by Gun Hill Road.
Yeah, that's up there by Gun Hill Road. It's Montefiore. I think they bought them out. But back in the days, it was North Central Hospital. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I was born, man.
Okay. How many siblings you have? Were you the firstborn, the second?
I'm the firstborn. I'm the firstborn from my mother and father. I'm their first son, their first child. All together between mother, father, stepfather,
You know how
because
it is.
we don't do that step thing. You know what I'm saying? When you
We're,
family, you
we're
family.
polygynous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So all
by
together
nature.
there's 10 of us. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Okay. Okay. That's
After
cool.
it's all
That's
said and done. You know, my mom's got 5, and then there's spread out to
cool.
everybody else. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you raised in the Bronx where you were born, or did they, or were you raised in other
I was born
boroughs?
and raised in the Bronx. I stood in the
Just like me.
Bronx. I never
Yeah.
left the Bronx until I was 25, 24 going on 25. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I
Right.
left the Bronx, but I always went back. I stay going back. I still go back, and I live out here now. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And we're gonna speak about those influence from the Bronx, man, and your the experiences that you went through. Now do you play any musical instrument at all?
No, I just run my mouth. You heard?
That's an
Yeah,
instrument, right? The mouth.
that's an
That's an
instrument. You
instrument.
know what I'm
That's an
saying?
instrument.
I
Yeah, yeah.
rhyme. You know what I mean? I
Beautiful,
harmonize
beautiful.
here and there. You know what
There
I'm
you go.
saying? But
Oh, so you sing a little bit?
not really. I ain't no singer.
I don't want to
But
put you
you
on the
know,
spot.
sometimes you throw a little harmony on something. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So tell
You know?
us, Antonio. Can I call you Antonio?
Why not?
Okay, tell us, Antonio. In your family history, you know what I'm saying? Going back, were there any musicians in your family?
Well, for the most part, my family don't my grandfather on my father's side, my grandfather was a jazz musician and he was in a boogaloo band. I can't remember the name of
Mm,
the band. I was young when he told me the stories. My grandfather always wanted to be a musician. He grew up
okay.
in Atorrey, Puerto Rico. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? And he was sent to New York when he was 17 because of a lot of trouble he was getting into. They sent him
Uh,
to New York and he met some brothers and he played with some brothers in a boogaloo band. You know what I'm
and for
saying?
those you who don't know and doesn't know that term boogaloo, you know what I'm saying? That was during the 60s, right? Yeah. I grew up during the boogaloo era, the 60s.
Yeah, maybe
And,
late
and
50s, 60s.
yeah, yeah. And that was again, the Puerto Ricans,
Even
Boricua.
before maybe. I don't
It
remember the
may
exact
well,
year,
yeah,
you
no,
know?
I kind of remember it being something from the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Because in the 50s, they were more into the mambo, Cuban mambo and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that whole thing of Boogaloo came in. And that was because of the neighborhood. You had a lot of African American, Black Americans, and African Boricuas. Yeah, everybody, or Boricua in general, everybody was living in the same neighborhood together. So the dances, so yeah, Boogaloo, like Johnny Colon. I think Willie Colon played a little Boogaloo. I know Eddie Palmieri played a little Boogaloo. Ray Barretto, those
Mm-hmm.
people. You know what I'm saying?
These
So
are all names you would hear in the house too when I was
yes,
a kid growing up.
I was gonna
You know?
ask you. So growing up, did you grow up with your grandfather or no?
My grandfather, he passed away in 2006. So I
So
got to have my grandfather till I was 27.
so
You know what
you
I'm
got to
saying?
speak to him about music.
All about all types of things, man.
Nice,
He
nice,
was very into history. You know what I'm
nice.
saying? He was like, a historian, but that just wasn't his job. He didn't get paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So he always taught us about music. He always taught us about,
nice,
what I'm saying, our African roots.
nice.
He was a big fan of brothers like Arturo Stromberg, Frederick Douglass. He was a
Oh,
big
okay.
fan of Abisu Campo. You know what I'm saying? So these are
Nice.
names that were thrown around when I was even when I was young. I would hear about these names
Hey,
and see their
nice.
pictures and their posters and stuff like that would be in the house. You know what I'm saying?
So do you feel that had a huge? I hear it, but that had a huge influence in the music and your lyrics, right?
Well, life in general. That's why I call my music wounded, empathetic thoughts. You know what I'm saying? For the
I see
broken.
that.
You know what I'm
See
saying?
that.
That's how I
Explain.
describe my musical style.
Explain to
You
us
know?
what it wounded, empathetic thoughts. Can
Yeah,
you
well, it's for
elaborate a
the
little bit on
broken. I
Oh,
got a
okay.
belief that we are broken people from a broken society, raised by broken people, trying to raise people with broken
Oh,
pieces. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So that's just how I
yeah,
was seeing things and I always wonder what was my style, what's exactly my style of hip hop.
right,
And I
right,
named it Wounded Empathetic Thoughts because I care about people. These are
right,
my thoughts, and I've been wounded. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And so have my people.
Nice, nice, nice. So listen, I'm gonna do something here. So, because you
Let's
mentioned
go.
your upgrowing in the Bronx and stuff like that, right? Who's this kid?
Hey,
Is that you? How
that's
old were
me.
you?
Yeah. I
You
think
look
I
like
was.
you're getting ready to spit some fire there, bro.
I think I was 3 years old. I think
Ah,
in that
qué
picture I
lindo.
was three. You heard?
Qué lindo. I said I had a surprise. I pulled this. I was like,
Yeah.
who's this kid?
I
Beautiful.
didn't know English then. You heard?
Oh, really?
Yeah, my first language was Spanish. I lost it. I
I
stopped
know,
speaking Spanish. You
people
heard?
don't know that for us, New York, those born in the Bronx. Remember, our parents came from Puerto Rico. There was a lot of Spanish spoken in the house. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
for
in
me,
school, we had a struggle in school, right? Did you struggle in school? Were you in that bilingual class?
oh no, not at all. I
Oh
went
shit,
straight
I
to
was.
English. I spoke both. By the time
Right.
I learned how to read in English when I was
Mhm.
4. You heard?
Okay.
Because my mother was a poet and she used to
Oh,
write.
so there you
Yeah,
go.
my mother used to write for the Police Benevolent magazine.
Okay.
She used to write articles. That was one of her first jobs before she went to Merrill Lynch. You know what I'm saying? And I was
Mm.
4 years old and I couldn't stay still. So
Mm.
my mother spoke to me in English, but my babysitter, who was my grandmother at the time,
Mhm.
she only spoke Spanish. So I was mostly
Ah.
learning my language from her. But when I was 4, what happened was my mom's couldn't keep me still while she was trying to write poetry. So she gave me a pad and a pen and she
Ah,
taught and she
I
taught.
was about to say that.
Yeah.
No, the influence of the music already in your genetics, and then your
Well,
mom's and the poetry, put it all
so
together. Antonio
so
dice
she
I
used to
like a prayer.
do so what she used to do was she taught me my ABCs in English
Nice,
and then she would have me practice them. That's how I stood quiet so she could
nice.
do her work. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So she
smart.
tricked me into being quiet, but what she didn't realize was I really like to write. You know what I mean? I wrote
Nice.
my first rhyme when I was 6. Now, I wasn't the best rhyme in the world, but I was 6 years old. I experimented. I wrote a rhyme when I was 6 years old, man.
Okay, okay.
Well,
So in the educational, so growing up in that educational system, did you do a lot of writing? I mean,
well,
what year? Because was hip hop? What year were you born again?
I was born in '79. So by
79.
yes,
Damn,
sir.
hip hop was already being, yeah. Hip hop
Yeah.
goes all the way
So
back
by
to
'85, I went
74.
to I went to kindergarten in
Mm-hmm.
'84.
Mm.
In '85. You know what I'm saying? We moved from what I we I'm we my family's originally from my father's side and my mom's too. Well, she was living with my father. They're originally from 188 from Webster.
Ah,
So I went
okay,
to
I know that.
So I went to PS 85. Now I always go back to Webster. I still got family over there and all that.
Yeah,
But that's mainly where my family's from since like the
yeah,
50s. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They've
yeah,
been out there. So I
yeah.
went to PS 85 and then my mother and my father broke up and we moved to Bedford Park in Decatur. You know what I'm
Okay, I
saying?
know that's it.
When we
Yeah,
got over there, I guess that's where I really started, you know what I'm saying, really started
right,
to understand the different styles of music and
right.
you know what I
But
mean?
I
Because
tell you something that the time that you was born, that area right there, 188 from Webster going over into Grand Concourse and going to the other side, heading towards Jerome. That whole area, that's the west side. That whole area is where hip hop birth was very huge, man.
more or less, I mean, I
Yeah,
remember
I'm
even as a little kid, because my grandmother on my mother's side, most of them were from 183rd, the
right.
Creston, Walton
183rd
area,
Christian. Yeah,
or
yeah,
West Burnside. My grandmother lived in West Burnside. So I remember even as a little kid, the smells, the block parties, the
yeah,
rhythm, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And we always dug rhythm because, like I said, my grandfather was a musician, my mother was a poet, my father was a graffiti artist. I mean, he
Yeah.
liked to just
I'm glad you mentioned
right on
that.
the wall. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So,
You
hip
mentioned
hop was a thing for my life, man.
it's a culture. Yeah,
It's
for
a
those
culture.
people, yeah, when they hear hip hop, they just think about the music, but they don't realize that hip hop also comes with art, comes with
Hmm.
passion. You know,
Yes,
there's a lot of
yes.
elements in hip hop and dancing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's very very important. Listen, so I want to do something. I want to
Let's
play.
go.
I want to play something here. And we're gonna go. We're gonna start from this one here. Yeah, let me bring it up. You know, and let's play a track. Let's
All
play a
right.
video from you. Okay.
Let's get it.
Um, here we go. Here you go. And here you go.
Slam Pain by Tony. Real life, real spit. I know it's been a minute. I apologize, man. I'm just camera shy. You know what I mean? Yo, check it out. There's gotta be a bad dream. Wake me up quick. They say life's a bitch, but yo, fuck this. 1 out of 5 ain't popping. Broke, starving. Man, I need another job. I've been thinking about robbing. Cause I see what being good does. We from the hood, cause that corporate shit don't show no hood love. Got me looking for a rich man, and he ain't never gonna make me rich, son of a bitch. Then you either confused or understand. It's for the people, the fam in the same position I am. They say it's your land, it's my land. It's really their land. The rest of us 99 are slaves, man. At least it's how it seems to me, that's how it seems to be. If I'm wrong, correct me, G. I bet you can't, cause I'm not sure. Now let me get back to the sales floor. They told me to sell more, y'all. And that's how shit really is for a nigga, know what I mean? So many choices, I feel like I got none. They say it's dog eat dog, don't be a dot, son. These last days getting scarier. Time for me to shake some shit up, Pitbull Terrier. So many choices, I feel like I got none. They say it's dog eat dog, don't be a dot, son. These last days getting scarier. Time for me to shake some shit up, Pitbull Terrier. I'm for the world and everything in it. We so sky's the limit, I'm in it to win it. Just give me a minute. I gotta get through the worst first. Rosie's first birth and worst parts of the earth where them guns burst. Drug fiends, drug dealers, court drugs, work is bugged. How we living like some bugs, doing dumb dirt. Do good, you get good, that's what they told me, but the good die young. I might as well be the old man, bicycle Tony, Latin Pain OJ, rest in peace, B-Rocks, free my nigga Stoney. Got us all messed up, many not around, that are locked down for being raised in the wrong town. But I'ma make it, my nigga, it's going down. Ready to hit the world with the raw sound from the underground. Latin Pain, that's the name, show support. If not, you're lost. Fuck you and your boss, I'm going off like so many choices. I feel like I got none. They say it's dog eat dog, don't be a dot, son. These last days getting scarier. Time for me to shake some shit up, Pitbull Terrier. So many choices, I feel like I got none. They say it's dog eat dog, don't be a dot, son. These last days getting scarier. Time for me to shake some shit up, Pitbull Terrier. One. And that's it, Rick. Thanks for the moment in time, my nigga. One life, one love. God, I'm out. Everything.
Definitely. I love that track. That's definitely that's got New York vibe all over it, man. All over. You muted.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah. Man,
I'm glad you
that's
enjoyed
got
that.
that New York vibe all over it. I love it, man. I love you.
Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you.
We're representing to the max. Hey, man, shout out to my Mugdal, my elder, one of my master teacher, Latif Franklin Bowen. He's from Brooklyn. So, but he knows the music very well. Also, his sons are very, very talented. I'm gonna do an interview with his sons coming out of South Carolina and lit also. You know what I'm saying? The youth. But yeah, so let's continue on, brother.
No doubt.
It's a very interesting story, man. So I can see the elements there, being a musician, because Biggie always spoke about that. He learned from this jazz musician of the lyrics, and that being a lyricist, a rapper, you also have to be rhythmic, and you have to know a little about rhythm, you know what I'm saying? Actually, the drums, you know what I'm saying? So Biggie always used like it, but you seem to have it naturally, you know what I'm saying? I see that rhythm in there.
Oh my goodness! If you only knew the half, you don't even know the half.
Yo, go for it.
You got my grandfather, right? Congas in the house. He was a conga player like you wouldn't believe. You heard?
Yeah.
Then my Tio Carlos, shout out to Tio Carlito, man, if he ever sees this, man.
Yeah,
Fly
let me
mother
put that in the
flower.
background.
You know what I'm saying? He was another one. You know what I'm saying? Now my father, you know, he was when he was younger, he liked to write on the wall, but he traded that in to play basketball. So my father is a really good basketball player, man.
Wow,
You know what I'm
nice.
saying? And he played in 188 in Webster in the park all the time when I was growing. So when I was a little kid, they would leave me in that park.
Mm.
Him and my uncles, so they could go play basketball, and I'll be just chilling on the bench and checking out the world. You know what I'm saying?
Stuff.
And you got to remember, the Bronx as a kid coming up in the 80s was very rhythmical. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing but rhythms. You know what I'm saying? It was so many artists that never got signed, that people just walking through the street might be beat bopping, might be singing a song. You know what I'm saying? It's a different world, you know, back then. You know what I'm saying? Even today, New York is a very, very musical place. New
Still
York
is, yeah.
You know, yeah, it still is.
Yeah.
So I was influenced more or less by the Bronx, by being outside. You know what I mean?
Being outside that,
That's it.
observing that experience, and then of course you experiment a lot with.
And my people are outside people. You know, nobody's
we outside. We outside.
We outside. We grew up outside. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I got this thing that said, "We are hip hop. We run the outside. We run the outside. We are hip hop. We run the outside. We run the outside."
Yeah, man.
That's a bar and that's a hook.
I always thought, you know, see, as a kid, I didn't know that the rest of the world wasn't like that. You heard? I thought the whole world was like this. You know what I'm saying? Coming up in the Bronx, because it was my world. You know what I mean? And I thought Southside and merengue and hip hop and everything, I thought everything was just our culture, like one culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you could walk from, like, mind you, we coming from a black neighborhood, 188 from Webster. You heard? And then when you hit Fordham Road and you hit Decatur Avenue and you go down to Bedford Park, and it's nothing but Borincans back then. You know what I'm saying? So this is my life. Boricua, Moreno, you know what I'm saying? Because these are the neighborhoods that I had to travel back and forth from, to go to Papi's house or to go to Mommy's house or to Ceelos' house. This is all I knew. You know what I'm saying? And I never thought that there was a difference in the people. I knew some people spoke Spanish and some people didn't, but that's all I knew. That was the most, you know what I'm saying? That was the only difference is. You know what I'm saying? Other than that,
right. A question.
When, was all people.
Right. When did you, can you remember when you actually decided, or when you actually made up your mind and said, damn, I want to write lyrics. I want to rap. I want to do hip hop.
You know what happened, son? It's crazy. You know what happened? I got discouraged as a kid. You know what I'm saying? And now we was going, my mom's, you know, I'm not going to shame nobody. My mom's is a beautiful woman, but she had married a bad man. You know what I'm saying? When we moved, she had married a real bad man. You know what I'm saying? A thug, gangster, mean mother flower. You heard? And I never really enjoyed that experience. You know what I mean? So around the time she married him, I was about 7. And I was a little bit discouraged from doing the things I really wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I got clowned or, you know what I mean, picked on by this guy. So I would write in school. When I was 9 years old, you know what I'm saying? My teacher, Mrs. Lane, in 3rd grade, she told us to write a short story. You heard? So I wrote a story called The Kid at the Window. That's what I called it. Right? And I wrote a story about abuse. Yeah. I wrote a story about abuse, but I was making believe that the abuse was somebody I saw out the window, right? What happened was BCW, and they sent me to a counselor, you heard, because of my homework, right? I didn't know I was going to get in trouble. I never said nobody's name. They sent me to a counselor to ask me a bunch of questions to see if I was abused, right? I kept it funky. I never told on nobody. What happened next was, right? BCW came to the house, started asking questions because of this story I wrote for school. They said in school, the school told my moms that it had to be true and it had to be me because no one at the age of 9 years old can articulate abuse the way I articulated it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anyway, we got through that. Nothing ever bad happened. You know what I'm saying? But that's what kind of discouraged me. I got scared to write because of that writing caused so much problems in my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to write no more.
Yeah.
So So life went on. Now I'm a teenager. I went through a lot of things, getting into fights, getting into all types of stuff. I'm the big brother, so I had to stick up for everybody in the hood. And
Right.
I was getting into a lot of trouble. My mom's left that, man. We moved to White Plains Road.
Mm.
When we moved to White Plains Road, that's when a lot of reggae came into my life. That's when I started really, I fell in love with the Jamaican culture, with the sound system culture, with dancehall music and reggae. I really
So
fell in
like what
love
that
with
92? What born at
92. We moved to Allerton Avenue in 92, but all my friends in junior high school there were Jamaican. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? And they embraced me, I'm coming from the Puerto Rican neighborhood. And I went over there and they embraced me like a brother. My brother Carlton, Ainsworth, Kevin, they
Yeah.
showed me nothing but love. And I would be in their houses listening
Right.
to what their families listen to. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I fell in love with just the whole culture. I grew dreadlocks and all that. Like, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying? You couldn't tell me I wasn't Jamaican all of a sudden. You feel me? Like, that's how
Pero let me ask you. So you didn't go into reggaeton at all? I mean,
I
because
never,
reggaeton.
I never, I never dabbled into
Ah,
reggaeton. I
yeah,
like
because
some of it, I like the
because
Tego
It's the reggae.
Calderon,
It's
you know what
the
I'm saying?
reggae with Spanish
Yeah, I
lyrics.
love it. I love the rhythm. Don't get
Reggaeton
me
was
wrong. I
hard.
just never did it myself.
Right.
So when we moved over there, I still wasn't writing though. I was getting in
Oh, okay.
trouble. I was part, you know what I'm saying? I was being a kid, right?
Mhm.
When I decided to write though, I would write here and there, you know what I'm saying? Once in a blue moon, like I would touch a pen and a pad, I would write something. And
Right.
and in junior high school, in sixth grade,
Mhm.
I won an award for short stories.
Mm.
When we graduated, they gave me this a pin or something for literature. So I would write here and there when I wanted to. And every time I wrote, I didn't do it every day, but when I did do it, I would do my best to make sure it was fly. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
So I won an award in the sixth grade. Then I moved to Allerton and all that, White Plains Road,
Attitude. My own
Parkside
stomping
Projects and
ground.
all that.
I'm from Berkin
And
Holland.
then
That's attitude.
and then I went into a whole different, my life took a turn and I started getting into crime and doing the wrong thing. And we were broke and I was hustling and, doing all types of other stuff. And I went to prison. I went to Rikers Island for the first time in 98. I was wilding for a bunch of years and I finally went to Rikers Island. When I went to Rikers Island, I did 8 months. I came home. There
Right?
was
Did
this,
you write in Rikers Island? Did you
yeah,
write?
I was writing crazy that I ain't had
Oh,
nothing else
yeah.
to do but write. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of rappers I know that when they
But I
incarcerated.
didn't know I was gonna make music. What happened was in '99 when I came home, my
Uh,
mom's had moved to 205th in the concourse.
mm,
There was this young brother by the name of Jesse. We used to call him the mayor.
mm,
Very lyrical, very talented. You know what I'm saying? He was in the Nation of Gods and Earths, right? And he
right.
was very, very lyrical. I mean, this kid could freestyle off the top of the head like nobody's business, and it'd be articulate, and it'll make sense, and it'll be righteous, and it'll be true. And um, we did a song. He invited me. I was chilling with him one day, and I shared a rhyme. I never used to share rhymes outside of school with
Mm,
nobody. I
right.
shared a rhyme with him. Yeah,
Mm,
and I had the rhythm and all that. I shared it the way I hear it in my heart. So
mm,
when he heard me rhyme, he said, "Yo, let's make this track, bro." And he took
mm.
me to this kid named E Nice house. So E Nice, God bless him. You know what I'm saying? We had a bad falling out, but God bless him. But E Nice had equipment. You know what I mean? Now it
Mhm.
wasn't equipment like today's stuff. You heard? It didn't look nothing
A
like today's stuff.
workstation. You talk about it. He had a workstation.
Yeah, yeah, he recorded music there.
Yeah, workstation.
So we recorded this song, and I can't find it to save my life, and I
Oh,
can't find that brother Jesse, aka the man, to save my
yeah.
life. But we recorded a song called "Taste for the Streets," and when I
Mm,
heard myself recorded,
mm.
I wanted to do it more. I was like, oh, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I like
hook.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do it more, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's not how it went down. I went
Yeah.
back up north. I got into more trouble. You know what
Oh.
I'm saying? I was getting into a lot of trouble. Then I went back up north. I mean, I went up north for the first time. When I came home from that bid, I met
Mhm.
Ro Major from Major Entertainment. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And he was dating my sister. They married now, God bless them. But
So
he
that was
had
the
a
first time you did anything like let's say seeking that professionalism,
that
going
was
in.
when that was the first time I actually see, when I came home in '04, excuse
Yeah.
me, December 5th of '03, I came home and I
Mm,
got with them and I started writing nonstop, recording
yeah.
nonstop. Even though I was still wilding, I was still pedaling and running the block and bugging out,
Mm-hmm.
but I was writing, boom, making tracks. And I was still going in and out of prison though until
So
2006.
let me ask you, do you feel like the writing and the lyrics, the writing help you in a way, kind of like help you balance that street life? You know what I'm saying? Kept you away from certain things.
No, I wish I could say that. I think I wish I could say that. You know what I'm saying?
And go for you more, because it's like you experience all this stuff and you're like,
It just gave me more, my experience just gave me more to write about. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really, I got a rhyme where I says, yo, I told you I live every word that I spit. You know what I'm saying? That's just real life, real spit is based on keeping it real in your raps too. You know what I'm saying? Real life, real spit. You know what I'm saying? So we don't make nothing up. If I never been through it, I don't say I did. You know what I'm saying? If you heard me say it, it's because that's how I felt it before. I could see life, I could see life and not go through it and put it in there, but I never claim to be something I didn't. You know what I mean? I could understand, I could be empathetic, I could, sympathize and all that. But if I
feel
didn't
that's important for rappers today, right? I mean, you have to experience a lot of things. Don't write about things you really didn't experience, because you're gonna lose.
Yeah, because then you're gonna get checked. Like a lot of kids, especially in the drill thing, they get hurt because now they have to show out because they said so. You know what I'm saying? If I'm from hip hop where you have Biz Marquis, nothing about gangsters, still funky, fresh, and fly. You know what I'm saying? You had Dougie Freshes. You had people who they said they was, and they didn't have to be a gangster to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. I don't try to be a gangster in my art. I try to just share how I feel and share what I've seen.
I'm a musician.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a gangster.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be nobody's gangster. You know what I'm saying? Things happen in my life the way they happen, and I feel like everything's for a reason, but I ain't nobody's gangster. You know what I'm saying? So I just spit it how I feel, and I think that keeping it real is hip hop's #1 rule. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it real is rule #1 in hip hop. You feel me? I always felt like that.
That's the code. That's one of the hip hop street code.
What?
Real.
That's how I was taught. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I still grew up in a time where the lie got you more hurt than the truth. You know what I'm saying? So might as well tell the truth.
We grew up.
That's a fact. You feel me? That's a fact.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna play another one by you, because I want to ask you these questions. So because we're gonna go into a little narrative, we're gonna and we had spoken this before about what's happening now with hip hop, the state of hip hop now, and a lot of artists coming out saying ridiculous things, and we had addressed that in your channel. And please, for those of you out there, subscribe to Real Life, Real Spit, Latin Pain channel on YouTube. Subscribe, you know what I'm saying? And check out the content. Because sometimes, we get on there and we discuss real life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the capping and the ridiculous capping that's going on in the
it's ugly.
The so-called hip hop, because that's not hip hop. Because like you said, hip hop, one of the coldest. Keep that shit real. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it real.
Let's play another tune, and I'm gonna ask you some questions about this here. I love this, man, because it's representing to the max. Okay, and this one, is it the right? No, I'm sorry, that is not the one. My bad. Yeah, this is the one right here, but you don't see that yet. I don't have a technical person here just yet. You're doing everything on our own. But anyway, this one is this one here. Okay, you can see that. And let's play it. Okay, check it out.
Boricua fly, spirits on the earth. Reppin' since birth, gon' rep till the dirt covers my body. Raps me a stone and my soul moves on, and my people's back home. Boricua fly, spirits on the earth. Reppin' since birth, gon' rep till the dirt covers my body. kid, so fresh, so clean, my new name disinfected. Never been a fool, I know shit gets hectic, so I follow who and kept my neck protected. Might check it, got your girl naked in my room Sunday morning, serving me breakfast. It's the boogie dance bestest, throw up your BXs and rap like this. Boricua, fly, spirits on the earth, reppin' since birth, gon' rap till the dirt. Covers my body, wraps me in stone, and my soul moves on, and my people's back home. Boricua, fly, spirits on the earth, reppin' since birth, gon' rap till the dirt. Covers my body, wraps me in stone, and my soul moves on and on and on and on. Shout to all my New York weekends, the real live from the projects of Puerto Rican to Burnside. Even though we still in the struggle, our heads high, cause it's fly to be Boricua from NY. Half African, Taino warrior, Spanish blood proud from La Bella to Astoria. Rest in peace, Mitch. Shout my cousin Gloria, Rosie, Boss, brothers and sisters, I rep for all of ya. Abuela, you know I love you, hun. All my aunts, uncles, my cousins, that nigga Jay, son. Big Pun, rest in peace, you was amazing. Boricua, going all out until it's all done. Boricua, fly, spirits on the earth. Reppin' since birth, gon' rep till the dirt. Covers my body, wraps me in stone, and my soul moves on, and my people's back home. Boricua, fly, spirits on the earth. Reppin' since birth, gon' rep till the dirt. Covers my body, wraps me in stone, and my soul moves on and on and on and on and on.
You on mute, Theo. You on mute, Theo.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Definitely is that
Appreciate
New
that.
York
Wepa.
Boricua vibe. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to segue because we had the discussion before. They call us like we're just culture vultures, that we coming into hip hop,
Which
like,
makes no sense.
right? Where we just were invited into hip hop, that we weren't there at the foundation of hip hop. But again, we already had squashed that, because that's not true at all. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true at all.
Hip hop is
And
a
it's
culture.
sad,
Mhm.
that narrative is really sad, man.
Very
Whoever's
sad,
trying to
yeah.
paint that, because
Yeah.
first and foremost, you make yourself sound really silly. If you look, first of all, you have to do the history. Yes, black music, salute it. I love it, and it is a big part of the culture. It always has.
African
Yes.
expression. African
Yes.
expressions.
So has so many other things. You know what I'm saying? So has so many other things. When they talk about hip hop, they only talk about the music. Well, Latinos been contributing to the music from the jump too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? From the jump too. So it's really sad, that narrative. And they don't look at the times where this was marinating and becoming a thing.
Right.
New York City urban street culture is hip hop, and it was New York City urban street culture before it even had a name. You know what I'm saying? And people, when you look at the times and the people that come from hip hop, you're gonna see blacks and Boricuas in the forefront together, and others too. And there was others too. However, for the most part, blacks and Boricuas created this movement. Someone said, right? This is where I say I shoot down the whole argument. I don't want to talk about it no more, right? When some brother said that they believed that indirectly the whole Avenue gang truce meeting, right, indirectly started hip hop. I'm not saying that's true or not true.
No.
I'm saying that if you believe that's true, then the argument's over, because that meeting was put together by Bronx, New York street gangs that were black and Boricua. And for the most part, the people who wanted that meeting to happen, right, were the ghetto brothers who, because Black Benji was murdered, a black man representing a Puerto Rican gang.
Yeah, facts.
See,
they don't know the history. Yeah.
They don't know the history.
Yeah.
It bothers me because this is family for me. This is my ancestors for me. You know what I'm saying? These are my elders. You know what I'm saying? And the people I looked up to as a child, and I heard the stories. You try to discredit our people. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool.
Right. I mean, when the gangs, when that happened to Black Benji, a lot of gangs started rethink themselves. So a lot of the youth instead of battling with guns and that violence, they use battling with breakdancing, battling with DJ equipment. They took battling
Let
to
me
another
ask you
form.
this.
Mhm.
If that meeting never happened, right?
Mhm.
Right? Would there have been a Zulu Nation?
Right. No. I mean, yeah. I mean, because Zulu Nation comes out, a lot of them became 5%ers, what I'm saying? So,
But I'm just saying though.
yeah.
I mean,
If that
even
meeting
if
would
there
not
was,
happen, there would
even
have
if
been a
there
lot
was,
more
how
death.
far
Yeah.
would it have went? You
Yeah, it
heard?
wouldn't have been gone
For
that
all
far.
we know, Bambaataa would have still been representing the black spades and playing electric disco and boogie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't
I
want
mean,
to
I say like this. It's an African expression, no matter what, because you can go to
Mhm.
Africa and you see the similarities. I mean, if you say graffiti in the wall, well, you could go to ancient Kemet and you see how they,
But people don't do
things
the
in the wall.
knowledge. People don't really do the knowledge.
Exactly.
People just like to go with whatever is whatever.
Right. And the
gets them.
battling, you know what I'm saying? Dance battling, all that stuff happened in Africa. But this is the thing. Just like African expression was in, amongst the Black Americans, African expression is also with the Boricua, because we have that Black African genetics.
Thank you.
And the Brazilians. You can go
Thank you.
anywhere where there's African influence and you see emergence of this expression. It just happened that in the Bronx, those conditions of those buildings, those gangs, like you said, those conditions birth this expression, this African expression. You know what I'm saying? That's DNA, that's genetics. That's the way it goes. But anyway, we'll leave a lot of that talk when we do the thing on your channel, when we talk about that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So going now professionally, have you ever do you tour? I mean, have you ever been on stages?
I've performed before. And I feel like life is a performance sometimes. It gives you the opportunity to show out.
Bars. Fact.
You heard? This is a fact, man. I am who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's all I know how to be. But as far as professionally, I haven't performed much professionally.
Right.
But I'm in the hood. I'm bugging out. I'm having a good time. I'll bust it out for them. You heard? But I have been on stages, but not many times. But I had a shot. I'm gonna tell you about the shot I had, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I had a shot, and I didn't like. This made me not like the industry. I like being in the streets and not in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Bars.
I had a shot one time. Now we had a group. You heard? Major Entertainment. It was 5 artists. You know what I'm saying? M.E. M.E. And we put a mixtape back in 2006. Right? I came home from I had 2 shots. First shot I met this guy from Sony on a bus going upstate, right? And 3 days later, I went in for a parole violation. I lost contact with the dude. When I came home from that parole violation, I had a mixtape. Me and M.E. We had a mixtape called "Prepare for Impact." We were selling the mixtape $5 a CD in the hood. Right. You heard? Right. Sold about 700 CDs.
What? That's pretty good for back in the trunk sales.
Back in the day. $5.
That's pretty good.
You know what I'm saying?
Do the math.
Yeah. I was selling them all over. We was running around trying to get them off. You heard? How I would let people listen to them before they buy it. Yo, I would walk around with headphones. Yo, hear this, man. Yo, what's that? Yo, it's new mixtape. You know what I'm saying? And let them hear a little snippet of a track. Right. Anyway, the track got into the hands of one of my aunt's husband, my uncle Nitty. And back then he was doing work with Yorktown Entertainment, and he was doing work. He was in the studio a lot with Chris Gotti, who's Earth Gotti.
That's what that whole Jacob York and them, Gucci Mane and York.
I'm not really sure who's on the roster anymore. Yeah.
I know York
Productions. But that's not who I wound up speaking to. He got the CD. He heard the CD. He thought I had talent. He told me to come down to Crack House Studios in Manhattan, and he told me what day to go there. I went. Right. When I get there, I met Chris Gotti. I saw Jim Jones coming in and out. I met Corey Guns
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of other artists that were like underlings of the Dipset brothers. You know what I'm saying? So the one I met, the one that stood out the most though was a brother who was a producer, super producer, great work. He produced for Dipset, he produced for Keisha Cole and so many others. He goes by the name of Chink Santana.
Okay.
So I'm vibing with Chink Santana, and he plays the demo that I brought, with the mixtape that I brought. You heard? He plays like 2 songs and he stops it. Boom. He's like, "Yo, come in." Pulls me to the side. He's like, "Yo, let me hear you spit raw right here in front of me."
Freestyle, yeah.
And I spit this thing called Toast to the Kings. I spit the first verse of it. When I was almost done with the verse, he stopped me. He said, "Yo, that's fresh, yo. Let me hear you spit something else on a totally different lane." You know what I'm saying? So I spit the first verse of In Search of Holy Men that I have wrote on that parole violation I just came home from, where I got the name Latin Pain. This is where I just came home as Latin Pain. They gave me that name of Comstock on that violation.
Right.
But anyway, when I started spitting the first verse of In Search of Holy Men to him, he stops me again. "Yo, let me talk to you real quick." He pulls me to the side. He says, "I want to work with you, but you seem like a real one. And a lot of the real ones don't do good in this business."
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
He said, "I'm about to tell you something that you're probably not going to like, and I want you to go home and think about this." I said, "All right, what you going to tell me?" He said, "I want to work with you, but I don't want you to bring your friends." And I said, "Yeah, that is something I got to go home and think about."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So, because loyalty is a big thing to me. Now, I feel like I made a mistake now that I'm older and I know better. I feel like I should have just did my thing and then brought them on. You know what I'm saying?
But can you bring an assistant, a manager? You just
No,
didn't want to.
he wanted me to not bring the group. He said he liked my style, but he wanted to work with me and not a group.
Yeah. That's
You
what
heard?
happened to me. Yeah, I happened to
So instead of taking him on his offer, I told him, "Thank you for the time. Thank you for
the
listening."
loyalty. Yeah.
And I left, right?
Yeah.
And I had his number, his card, his email address, but I never reached out.
Right.
I went into battle rapping on some small text leagues and stuff like that.
We're gonna talk about that. Well, hold that thought, because we're gonna further into that battle stuff. But I want to shout out True Les. True Les is
True LES, man. What's up?
LES is on here. Real one.
Hey.
That background you see was that Ceelos going on Puerto Rico. That's True Les word. A graffiti. And I want to and Les, if you still there listening, we need to bring you on to talk about graffiti writing and the influence that they had in hip hop. So shout out to them. So now let's talk about the battle, because you did battling. And
well,
are you
I didn't do battling right away like you would think that you see on the videos.
Right.
First
that whole
thing
arena thing, battling. Right.
Yeah, I would battle a couple of people here and there in the street, you know what I'm saying, for fun. It wasn't never no big thing. You know what I'm saying? I would keep my pen sharp doing it. But 2009, 2010, the Facebook came out, right? Well, I learned about it. I didn't know about it. I learned about it. I was never
from
really
MySpace to Facebook. Yeah, Facebook to
I never really did the internet back then. You know what I'm saying? I seen people doing it, but I know I wasn't interested. You know, I'm old school. I'd rather see you in person. I didn't know about that stuff. There was this thing called Ripping Rhymes. I saw, and I was reading and they were text battling on a page. So it was where you could read it. So I thought it was pretty interesting. So I got involved. You heard? Now, the cool part about it was when you battled on there, you only had a couple of minutes to rebuttal or to respond to what somebody says to you. Right. So that helped. That it was a great thing to do, because it keep your pen it keep you sharp. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Steel sharp and steel.
You know. Then a couple of people wanted to meet up and stuff like that, and I would meet up with a kid here and there. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go there at it. You know what I mean? But sometimes kids will get emotional.
Right.
They would want to thump. They will get, you know what I mean? They'll get mad. I'm getting too open. I'm like,
try to take it personal.
All right, son, because I'm nasty. You know what I'm saying? And I got jokes. So I would flame somebody. They would get emotional. I seen it one too many times. I get emotional. All right, whatever. Then I started going on online radio, was booming. around this time, 2010, 2011. There was no YouTube for us like that. It was blog talks, and people had their own websites and their own little radio shows. Can't say all that radio and all these other
Block Talk
radios.
Radio. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. That's
that's
true.
when that was booming.
That's when that was booming. Yeah.
So what happened to me was I had recorded In Search of Holy Men years before, right? 2006, I had recorded it. And I never know, a lot of people didn't know about it. Somebody, I posted it on Facebook. You heard? Somebody took it and put it on their mixtape.
Oh, shit.
You heard?
Without your permission?
They told me.
Okay.
But they told me after they already blended it into the mixtape.
Oh, yeah.
They hit me up. They was like, yo, fam, look, man, I put this on my mixtape. I wasn't mad because you know what I'm saying? It was on an industry beat. I didn't own the beat. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to put the words out there. Right. They liked it. They put it on their mixtape. Next thing you know, this guy, rest in peace, man. Super dope dude from California. His name was DJ Hocus Pocus.
I ain't sound familiar, bro.
He was from Los Angeles. And he was a young brother around my age, maybe a little older, a little younger around me. And he reached out to me. He was like, yo, do me a favor, man. Send me that In Search of Holy Man track to my email. I'm gonna play it on the show. So I tuned into the show. I listened to him. I said, yeah, I like this stuff. I sent it to him, right? The next week, he emailed me back. He said, yo, I want you to make an appearance on my show. I want to do an interview with you. I want to talk about the song. What inspired you with these lyrics? Like, where was you at? I wrote it while I was incarcerated. I was in Comstock when I wrote it, and I sang it on the bars. That's the song that the Muslim brother Musa, Boricua, but he was Muslim. That's the reason he gave me the name Latin Pain. Because when I was singing, I used to sing in prison to the brother. I used to rap for the inmates. You know what I'm saying? When we locked in, my bro Child Black would do the beat on the wall. I would go in. He was going, yo, that's that Latin pain, son. Yo, kids, spit that Latin pain. Yeah, so I heard that. Like, so when I heard that, I took that. And everybody started calling me that in Comstock. But anyway, I get on the radio show with Hocus Pocus, right? And we had a good time. He introduces me to the world. He had a fan base of about 20,000 people. You know what I'm saying? This is before Instagram and all. I didn't really know about all these things. You know what I mean? So we bugging out. We having fun, bugging out. We were free. After that show, people have requested me to come back. So he hits me up. He said, yo, you ever did radio before, man? Because you sound like you do radio, man. I said, nah, I never did that before.
Oh, yeah. You mean like MC and disc jockey radio? Talk? Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
He said, yo, I want you to, we got an open slot for Sunday nights, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
You heard? You want to try it? I said, let me think about it. He said, I don't know what else is to think about. You natural. I said, I'll try it. I opened the show called Open Bike Night on Star Mob Radio.
Okay.
And it was lit.
Nice.
And it introduced me to a lot of people in the game.
Right. That's radio, yeah.
What? This is 2011 now, right?
2011. Okay.
I'm going in. You don't understand when I tell you I'm going in, we catching a buzz. Fredro Stars pulling up,
nice.
MOP's pulling up.
Wow.
I had Swave Sever, salute to him from the Battle Rap Arena. Other radio shows is asking me to call it. This is online radio, you know what I'm saying? Not
online
FM
radio, yeah.
But I'm starting to battle other personalities. That's how I met Jeremiah Da Vinci and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Jeremiah, man.
Shout out to Jeremiah Da Vinci. Jeremiah was catching a buzz on the text battling, but we never battled until one day I called into a different radio show, and he happened to be there too, and we killed everybody until we had to see each other. You know what I'm saying? So we was having a blast. So that's when I said to myself, I don't really want to be a rapper.
Okay.
I wanted to be, you know what I'm saying, like a Red Alert, but without the mixing and the scratching. I wanted to just have a voice. I wanted to be a voice. You know what I'm saying? Because I was dropping a lot of jewels and helping a lot of people. I was ghost writing on the low for people. You know what I'm saying? I was having the time of my life, but I didn't want to be the main attraction, like as far as being a rapper. I wanted to help expose other rappers.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I wanted to break the records. I wanted to, you know what I'm saying, talk about the hottest topics. I
That's a
wanted to
disc
do that.
jockey. Yeah. That's like a radio
That's what I
DJ
wanted to do.
with the voice. Yeah.
And
At
I
the
did
same
that
time,
from
you rap.
2000. So from 2011 to 2015, I focused hard. I went in on that. I grew a following of about 20,000 people, right?
Okay.
Not the biggest ever, but I was, you know,
On the
grinding
radio thing, on the internet,
on the Blog Talk. It was on Blog Talk,
Blog Talk.
and it was growing. It was doing pretty good, right?
I want to ask you the first time you got into YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But
so I'll get to that, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was I was doing great. But then, you know, life just keeps happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? And my life took a turn for the worst again. And I was back in the hood and doing this, that, and the third. And you know what I'm saying? I kind of lost my way, and you know what I mean?
Right.
And then a whole bunch of things happened through those years. I wound up losing my eye, beating another case. They tried to give me 15 years for possession of a firearm by convicted felon. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple of assaults. I got jumped. All types of stuff was happening. I just left the world alone. I got, you know what I mean? I went through a depression, all that, bro.
Right.
You heard? So then when I lost my eye, I went back to radio. I opened up Wounded Empathetic Thoughts as
on
a radio.
On the internet radio? Where?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nah, that's how I met my wifey and all that.
Yeah. Check this out. For now, he mentioned a shout out to your wife. What's your wife's name again?
Izzy Payne.
Evie Payne. That's right. And here you go.
Whereby that she goes right
there. Yeah. Man. Shout out.
So after a bunch of trials and tribulations, I left Miami. I left Florida, went back to the Bronx.
Okay.
And I was bouncing around all over, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The whole East Coast, I've been like in every state, bro.
Right.
But
okay.
I wound up out back in the Bronx, and it was either go back to the block or figure out something, but I ain't working for nobody. That's how I felt. I don't want to work for nobody. I'm the boss. You heard? Nobody. Okay. I don't care. I didn't want to do it. I said I gotta do something. I thought I was a good drug dealer, but apparently not. You know what I'm saying? And God forgive me for that. You heard?
Yeah,
so
very few.
Good. So
don't do that to the youth.
Don't do that. Don't do. It's a whack profession.
It's a racket. People. It's a racket.
It destroys people's lives.
It's a scam.
It's a life destroyer. And as you destroying other people's lives, you taking pieces of yourself, man. You destroying the good in you too. So I don't suggest it, but I'm just saying that I didn't want to work for nobody. I had worked for people before. I had good jobs, timeshare, all that, but I didn't want to work for nobody. I said, let me try this radio thing again. Now I wasn't catching a buzz. You heard? The times changed. The internet's very different than it was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm just keeping it virtual real. Videos are coming out, right?
Yeah, so I'm just keeping it real with you. Yeah. I wasn't really catching a buzz, but I caught a buzz with a lot of people who were victims of narcissistic abuse. And that's what I was teaching on. I was playing hip hop and teaching against narcissism. You heard? With Wounded Empathetic Thoughts.
Yeah,
I caught a nice little following off of that though. After a while, I caught a little following. That's how I met my lady, and I wound up coming out here. So to get to the YouTube part,
when you say here, that's out there in Texas.
Yeah, out here in Texas. Yeah.
The vibe is a little different though, right?
What's up, my brother?
The vibe is a little different in Texas. The rap is the rap. The hip hop is a hip hop. I know hip hop is everywhere.
Yo, let me tell you something, man. This is it's the cholo culture over here.
That's hip hop, yo.
And it's hip hop.
Their brand of hip hop.
And it's hip hop. That's their brand of hip hop. And it's
African expression out
and
there.
And I love it. And I feel at home. I feel like I live on Mashuda Parkway or Gun Hill. That's how I feel. Yeah. It's like the Gun Hill area of the Bronx. Yeah. This is what El Paso is like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get out here. I don't know what to do. You heard? I'm doing a couple of things here and there. You know what I'm saying? Once in a blue, I'm a middleman and things I shouldn't. I said, I got to do something positive. You know what I'm saying? But I really had no plan with YouTube. YouTube wasn't really a plan.
Right.
You know, I like to watch it. As a matter of fact, when I didn't really know about YouTube much. I thought it was a family thing where you look
Right,
at
right.
puppies and Shih Tzus, and that's all I knew. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And battle rap, and I like the battle rap. I watch battle rap on the YouTube.
Okay.
So I saw Warpath, K Solo,
Shout out
Mac
to K
Mean,
Solo, yes.
yeah,
Mac
Tales
Mean,
from
shout
the
out to Mac
Pen,
Mean. Yeah,
Fred White,
shout out to you.
and this kid named Chulo. I started
Mhm.
watching these brothers too, right? Telling their stories. Then I saw a lot of people telling their stories, and I was like, yo, my experience is very different. You know, the prison stories and all that I was getting into.
Right.
And I said, it didn't feel like it's like that for me all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's my vibe. Maybe it's my
Yeah.
character. I
Well,
don't know.
we can go through the same thing, but we experience the differences,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. So I said, I was listening to a lot of stories where it was like gunplay, boom, 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 bravado, machismo. I'm not saying these brothers, but after
Right.
watching those brothers, I started learning that there was all types of crazy mother flowers out there. I
On
said,
the
you know what?
YouTube, right? On the YouTube.
On the YouTube, I said, you know what? Let me
That's
share my experience. You
there
know
you
what I'm
go.
saying? So I shared my first time on Rikers Island, and like in a couple of days, it got 1,000 views. I said, what the heck? I didn't know it was going to do that. I didn't know about tagging none of that. I just put the video and then hello I and then move, right?
Yeah.
So then I said, let me do another one. So I went and I just started. I shared my whole life story. I did my jail tales. Then I did the Chronicles of Bicicleta. Then I did the World
Oh,
Bush Little
okay.
Mikey.
Like that. Yeah, I saw
And
that.
next thing you know, I got a little buzz. I'm like, yo, what's going on? It was cool. You know what I'm saying? And then, oh man, then it got crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Then you start seeing all these narratives coming out, and
Then I started
oh
seeing the
man, and I
hatred.
think that's where I met you. You know, on YouTube. I don't gotta mention that channel, but when you came on there, and I followed you, and so. You know, but yeah,
Yo, then I
it can
started
get
seeing
crazy.
hatred, bro.
You
And
started to
and,
get
and I
what?
started
Hey,
seeing, yeah, started seeing a lot of hatred. People were coming for me, mad disrespectful.
yeah.
And they didn't know that I'm Cookie son, bro. My mouth, I can hurt your feelings. Yeah, I'm very creative with
Right,
breaking a heart. I don't like to do it. I
right,
don't like to do it, but I'm
right.
not really. I don't have the. I'm not. Mentally stable enough to just let you disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? So I went on a little tirade and I burned everybody. You know what I'm saying on a joint,
Mhm.
but I really just came here, man, to spread love, to
There you
share some
go.
history. You know what I'm saying? To share
Yeah,
some hip hop.
I see you as that. You know, you could use the radio influence that you wanted to do on Blog Talk Radio, transform that into YouTube. And I see that that's what you're doing. You know, so it's like a YouTube, celebrity thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's important. But what I love is that you stay true to who you are, the culture. You know what I'm saying? The lyrics, the lyrical content, and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So now that's what you're doing now. Are you planning on putting out any more mixtapes, any music, anything that we can see?
No, no, no. I'll be honest with
Okay,
you. I
just
still love
asking.
to rhyme. I still
Okay,
love to rhyme. Every once in a while, I'll drop a
okay.
little rhyme here and there. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while, I'll do that if I feel it in my heart. But I'm not looking
No
for no
problem.
deal and none of that. I don't want
That's
to
cool.
be. That's a lot of work. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
lot of work.
And the artists don't get what they deserve anymore. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right. But
And they
like
never really did.
yeah, I know. I feel you, man. I experienced the same thing, but now I'm looking at the internet as a marketing tool, marketing
Yes,
arm,
I
stuff
like
like
to
that.
get into
I like the
marketing.
fact that you got the mugs, the coffee
I
mug.
like to,
Hey, what's up with the Bustelo series in the morning? I like
I
yo.
gotta get back to that. I gotta get back to that.
Yeah,
Somebody
I
else
like
told me that too. They was enjoying that.
yeah, I like
Now,
yeah,
the thing is, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I came on and I was helping other people grow their platforms.
yeah.
And a lot of people know that there's a lot of brothers right now that they got their first 1,000 for rocking with me. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And I'm not boasting and I'm not better than nobody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm just saying you gotta be careful who you do certain things for.
Yeah.
Loyalty is very rare. The real are very rare. The real are far and few. But
Mhm.
I do enjoy helping people grow. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I do enjoy that. Yeah, if I do something that helps you out in some kind of
Mhm.
way, I always been like that. I feed the homeless, for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I always been like that. I'm from the bottom, bro. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm from the bottom. I
Yeah.
know what the bottom is
From
like.
the bottom on our
And
way up.
Yes, sir. So when I see somebody on the bottom, I like to extend that
It's
hand.
like you gotta have
towards-
your feet grounded firm on earth in the bottom, but your head up in the high in the sky, you know.
Oh yeah, you should.
But I don't want to go into that, preacher. But I just want to give a shout
I like
out.
the bottom. I like the bottom.
I want to give him a
It
shout
keeps
out.
you humble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, keep you humble. Exactly. Shout out to Tito Puente Jr., my brother.
Hey, shout out to Tito
And
Puente
Tito,
Jr.
man, you know, I did an interview with Tito, and that whole thing that he did with Hector Camacho, James Arrasa back in the days. It was interesting because he also ventured into the whole, Latin hip hop and stuff like that. You know, so shout out to Tito, my brother. You know, love you. And yeah, Les, Tori, thank you for being here, Tori. Shout out.
Salute.
So mira, I want you to close out. I want you to say some word, something, close it out, and then I'm gonna play something here, to close everything out. Okay. Any last words you want to say? Because we gone to this journey. It's beautiful. I appreciate your time here.
I appreciate you too, man.
I appreciate for this interview. Like I said, once I release this to the public, because right now it seems like Facebook just puts it on friends. I release it to the public, and then the videos, if people get home, because it's already like 2:06, you know what I'm saying? People working. I got a lot of people that work. But later on, the views, I'll pick up and stuff like that. And listen, I appreciate this very much, man. Thank you for blessing
me too. I really appreciate it, man.
Any last word you want to give? Any advice to the?
Can I leave with a rhyme?
Yes. Oh, by all means,
maybe that'll sum it all up.
There you go, Papa. Do your thing.
All right, man. Well, God bless you guys, man. Thank you guys for tuning in, man, with Theo Ceelos Congas. You know what I'm saying? My name's Latin Pain. Everything Real Life for a Spit is the channel. And it go a little something like this, yo. I write life down so you can feel my perspective. So many years with love, pain, and rejections. Running through life, I'm just a child disconnected. Many have tried, but I hardly felt it. And I like to apologize, but I continue to be wrong. And don't nobody want to keep hearing the same old song. How I try so hard, I love so strong, but I can't stay still. So after this, I'm gone. Taking my pain and my rhymes, my love and my songs, my heart and my art, my confusion and poems. Beaten and bruised, screaming life goes on. But the pain of broken love I've been holding for so long, and it hurts to the core. I'm like, Lord, no more. I found love, then it rushed out the door of my life. Now I toss and turn through the night. Heavy dream ain't right. Reality bites, and though I tried so hard and love so strong, I can't stay still. So after this, I'm gone, taking my pain, my rhymes, my love, my songs, my heart, my art, my confusion and poems. God bless you, B. Word up.
Bars, yo, awesome, man, yo.
Thank you.
Very talented, my brother. Yeah, you heard it, man. You heard it, my brother. Titito, Papa, what's up?
God bless you guys.
We gotta put a track together, man, and get and do a little thing here. So let's play this here, because this is something that we're doing on Friday. And we should keep it up because it's about the state of hip hop.
Yes, sir.
And we're gonna speak about it. Yeah, and we're gonna speak about that more in depth on Friday. So tune in, everybody, on Friday, because it's what's gonna go down. And we're gonna speak about a lot of the elements of hip hop. And like I said, let's see what happened. Maybe this Friday you won't be able. He says he's preparing himself for Hurricane Ian that's on his way over there to Florida. So my people out there, please
stay safe, y'all.
Be safe. My mother's in Tampa. I got a lot of family in Florida, in Orlando, Florida. As a matter of fact, I got a couple of gigs out there in Orlando, Florida. I want to head out and I want to do. But here it is. Here it goes. I want to play this. Is it playing?
God damn, that DJ made my day. DJ Intense. God damn, that DJ made my day. DJ Intense. God damn, that DJ made my day. DJ Intense. Yo. I remember my best friend told me that you be pondering for the old days. Really? My bad. I'm sorry, man. I'm so silly. I just keep thinking about my homeboy Willie. When we little kids on the block, we were so crazy. My mom being angry like she was some old lady. Cause I was running around like I was Bronco Billy. When my man Illy Babbitt, we was touching titties, smoking Phillies. We thought we were big willies on big wheels doing willies. With them ladies being all touchy-feely. It was like the late 80s, throwing bottles in light M80s. It was crazy hanging with crack babies. My grandma parent, I would come home safely, get the land, my family didn't want to rake it. I'm just saying, my stepdad, the alcoholic man, I never saw it coming. He would work like a hornet till like the early morning. Looking back on the things I should have done with my life, but it's alright, cause I'm still alive. Looking back on the things I should have said, but I did not, I would not, I could not, it was too hot. Looking back on the things I should have done with my life, but it's alright, cause I'm still alive. Looking back on the things I should have said, but I did not, I would not, but I could not. I'll be always pondering for the old days. Hear me now? Listen to Marvin Gaye in the old days. Hear me now? Hanging on the projects with the old ladies, looking out that window pane. So with ladies pain, cause she's looking out for her grandchild on the streets. Buck wild, get your ass back in the house when you got the beat down. Got your ass whipped and get some love. It was game time. Only Nana and Maka to do things at the same time. Not really looking back. I'm too busy looking down. It's like I left New York. Some queens are not around now. I'm still alive and I no longer wonder how. So I was in the house running from nightgowns and the pow-pows. I miss them both doing strokes running around town. I'm a grown man and I made it and I stuck around. Mow that lawn, that mow is in the outhouse. Man, I could use a great ass whipping right about now. Looking back on the things I should have done with my life, but it's alright, cause I'm still alive. Looking back on the things I should have said, but I did not, I would not, I could not, it was too hot. Looking back on the things I should have done with my life, but it's alright, cause I'm still alive. Looking back on the things I should have said, but I did not, I would not, but I could not, it was too hot. Don't make me put my business in the streets over a beat. When me and Eve was sneaking over the 2 to 3 between the sheets. More than twice a week, a slogan was like, try to be me and Louie. Then I met Screwy, and then I met Georgie, and then I met my kissing Cindy. We was being silly, laughing over Ghost Tiger and Henny. There's plenty of shorties to go around, homie. As summer was on one and only, reminiscing for a moment. That's now I'm over 40, don't know where the time is going. Yesterday I was just 20, having fun and performing. Going to Brooklyn, trying to get my demo recorded. Feeling so annoyed because we couldn't really afford it. Now I'm older and my songs is all over. And now I'm all over the place, and old days is all over. With a pot belly, I rock rhymes like Akinelli, hoping Machiavelli. B.I.G. is looking down. DJ Intense. Goddamn, that DJ made my day. DJ Intense. Goddamn, that DJ made my day. DJ Intense. Goddamn, that DJ made my day. DJ Intense. Trevor. Maya. Da Vinci. One.
Yeah, that's my boy right there, man.
Yeah,
I love that guy, man. I love him.
Man. Shout out to Da Vinci. And this is that's gonna be Friday, 10 p.m., right?
Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what I'm saying? Real life, real spit with Latin Pain, Theo Ceelos Congas, Smolitos, Wade, Izzy Payne, and Jeremiah Da Vinci. You know what I'm saying? Hijacking hip hop.
Yes, man. Hey, listen, and shout out to everybody on here. Ace Rivera just joined us now. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's my bro.
He says, checking in. Yeah, beautiful Bronx, 183rd.
183rd, that's the word.
183rd, that's it. Bro.
That's the word.
And, you know, shout out to everybody. Tito Puente Jr.
Boom, Tito Puente Jr. I follow him on Instagram. You heard?
Yeah.
I'm a fan, man.
Brother, bro. And so, you know, again, you know, here's another episode, Ceelos Music Chronicle. Share it, and also subscribe to Real Life, Real Spit with Latin Pain. And we're gonna do a whole series on hip hop. You know, the origin, you know, the sacred hip hop, the sacred hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because that's who we are. You know what I'm saying? That's who we are. So with all that, man, saludo a todo mundo, and I'll leave you with that. Okay, peace.
Boom.
Be safe, man. We'll talk. Be safe.
Uno.